Okay, so we got to what page is this? Kuf Ayin Bet. We're at the right column. And the Zohar says Ad Kan, Divir HaSoda Shene'em Bracha B'B'Techidas Ad Idra Ad Kan. Achidin Mili Do B'Do, so Kulam Machuzim V'Kusharim B'Zeh B'Zeh, all of the words are over whatever we taught over there. They all rhyme with this too. He says, Ki Ne'em Bracha Lifnei Seder, Lefi Seder Shtal Shlosh HaPartzufim, according to how the development of the partzuf, melamala lamata, coming from the top to the bottom. If we say there, is lav shusam zeh b'zeh. We talked about all of these things, how the partzufim are clothed within each other. As parshan milkin steam in ba'atika kadesha, v'nis ba'ara b'chasodas astumeim shebe'atika kadesha, which has to do with Erich Anpin. Shehu Erich Anpin steam the coolest steamim. He's called the closed secret of secrets. So shehu sasam. We call hastumim, completely closed and hidden away. So if that's true, how is it possible that they're all tied together? And then also they're tied or they're depending on Erich Anpin. So now from this point on, the Zair Anpin, we're going to start talking about Zeir Anpin. Inadalo is Galian be'idra. We're going to talk about the parts of Zeir Anpin that were not revealed in the Idra Rabbah. So he says, and they were closed up in my heart, something I kept until now. V'sham, that is in the Idra Rabbah, I didn't finally get the whole thing exactly the way I wanted it. But now I'm going to get everything in the right order, and I'm going to reveal them. But Roshim came Mesukanim, called Sarkum Umizgalim. So now you're going to see that everything is laid out and revealed. Bekuhu Milin Steeman, and all of this has to do with things which are secret. Because so this af Elo Shinizgalo, even the secrets that we've explained. Daim Stumi, they're still closed up. There we go, let me get this. And then all of them been refined. They're well refined and defined as the Kolan Chuloka Hashrei Chelki, the Inan, the Yarsu of the Yerusa Do, Ashrei Chelkam Shal HaTzadikim, and those people are Yarshim Yerusha Zu. What Yerusha shall Sodos Elo Umasigim Osam Lamisasam, and they're able to reach them until really get to their truth. They're written like this: Ashrei Ha'am Shkoch Allah, says Ashrei Ha'am Shehashem Elokayev, and then Hashem is their God. So this has to do with the ability to be able to be sitting here and listening to Rabi Shimon, and it's obvious somebody's taking notes here. I thought it was Rabbi Abba, and it takes notes. I don't know, but somebody wrote down what he said, because here it is. So what we've explained now, what I talked about before, what does that mean? Abba and Ima ki shefa hamochim shal Abba and Ima, that's Chachma and Bina. Erich Anpin, they're all dependent, tied, actually, they touching on to Erich Anpin. Now, the simple meaning is not exactly right. The Shefa flows into Abba and Ima, and Erich Anpin. So this, the tikkun goes like this. And this is the really way that it goes. It really, he says, what is this word? So it's all prepared really through these two tikkunim of Erich Anpin. Now, we did have the introduction of the 6th tikkun. Then he started talking about the 8th and the 13th tikkun. It's a little bit of vagary there, but he's serious about it. Mehem as Shefa HaMalchim. So Abba and Ima Yonkim Erich Anpin Atzma, but Abba and Ima do not get, their development does not come directly as a result of being fed by Erich Anpin. The call steaming, the call Talia. because everything really depends on that. Shaharei shefa hamochim shel Abba and Ima nimshachim b'mochas dima. They all come. The shefa that they get comes from the mochas dima. Hasalsa b'kol estumim shel Erich Anpin, which is the most sasum of the areas of Erich Anpin of his achadan, and he causes this to go together. Now I'm a little lost. What is the babe? As a result of Zeir Anpin, he causes Abba and Ima to go into a oneness. This is what it sounds like, to be unite. That is from, let me see, ubehem, from them. And that's what's the them. The hainu that they actually do get nourished from the shefa coming from the mochas dima, the shnei mazlos, but actually it goes to, these two mazlos. Now before, I was convinced that this was the mazel called Rav Chesed, which is number 6. So, but wait a minute, he said that they don't get from Zeir Anpin itself, but rather the mochas dima. Now, what exactly is the difference? Al Tomash im came in Nimsish Zeir Anpin, mochas dima shel Zeir Anpin, nifradim heim zecher bezeh. So, if you say that, what's the difference between the mochas dima and Zeir Anpin? I mean, it's a part of Zeir Anpin, so how is it that they're separated if you say it comes from the mochas dima and not from Zeir Anpin? That doesn't make sense. So how is it like that? So now look at the secrets here. Everything is Zeir Anpin. Shakolhu Zeir Anpin atzmo. Vein davar nifrach b'benda. There's not a part of Zeir Anpin that's not part of Zeir Anpin or separated from him. Who havi that's Zeir Anpin. Who hamamona. He's the hamahava. He's the one that causes everything to be. Umamshich. What is this word? Tehila. Okay, I'm sorry I can't read the screen all that well sometimes. Tehila the mochas dima. So what it is it pulls the mochin out from the mochas dima. Who yehei, who yihye the asid. So in the future, shekol hamochim hachadasha, that all new mochim gam came endo nimshachim ala b'shorsham arishon shul Zeir Anpin. All mochin ultimately come from this panemius which is there. The dignity tikunin bay. Heim tikunin be Zeir Anpin, the height of the mahit. And what is the tikun? And he says it again. They work with Zeir Anpin. L'ma'at es ha'or shal Zeir Anpin k'dei sheyuklu ha'tachtoinu the kabel ma'oro. So that it's possible for us to get a small piece of this. So he went, so that they are, the Abba and Ima also are incorporated into the two mazals, which are called tikkunim. Once again, the same idea, the hismatos of the line, shall Zeir Anpin. So we find the whole thing comes out in regards to Zeir Anpin atmo. So that kasha that you may have had is not working. Because what you're talking about is if the Itzilus works from the inside out, and so Zeir Anpin is the inside of reality. So he says, Abba aim behind muchan nafaku. Abba v'im b'chabayatzav in the aslach and malach hazeh. They all come out from this malach. Shuchum mochas dima, which is the closed up malach. Shaharbi is kalila b'mazlo. Heim nechlala b'mazlo, because they're all incorporated in this mazel. Which mazel? The mazel addicted to Zeir Anpin. B'shefach and b'mazel nimshach b'mochas dima. So let's talk about this. How it works is that the shefa comes out from the mochas dima. V'lechein nechshav ki lechem Abba v'Ima b'yatzav in the aslo ayidei mochas dima. So therefore it appears that since the shefa is really coming ultimately from the mochas dima, that's how it actually works here. That is, the connection is like that. If a good day the Vayer I have the Bein Abba and Ima the Zeir Anpin Amar Od. So now what we're really working towards is to understand the difference between Abba and Ima, and what's outside of them is the Partsufim of Erich Zeir Anpin. Ubei Talia the Mazel the dicta the Erich Anpin, and this the Mazel, that is these constricted lights that appear in different places in the beard of Erich Anpin, Taluyim, Abba Ve'ima, they all depend on those mazels. Because what happens with the mazel? The mazel surrounds the Mechatzach Aleichem Alamala. Now it's up above them. Now that's what he's saying. He said this before, but he was talking really about the sixth tikkun. So now, here we're not talking about, I don't think, the sixth tikkun anymore, but he says that, but maybe we are. So he said, Ki hamazel toikef chofef, rather it surrounds the bechazach habalechem alamala, so it's in a triangular formation, it seems like, but it covers them from up above. In other words, it's big enough so that it surrounds them from up above, starting up above. V'chamazel gam mislavish besochem besod mochin. Not only does it surround them, so it's like a makif, but it also is inside of them. And these two Abba and Ima hold on to this mazel. V'gam beguf Erich Anpin atzmo ne'achazim Abba and Ima, so they're also holding on to that. Ki Abba and Ima malvishim es Erich Anpin b'makom abina v'chachesed v'chakavura v'chatiferish al Erich Anpin. Let's see it again. He said basically they're from the chaza on upwards. That's where Abba and Ima are, and it starts when he's a malbishan is Erich Anpin, but makom abina. The makom abina and Erich Anpin is his neck, is in his neck. V'chachesed, which of course then you're going down the three lines of Erich Anpin. All of that, he says, they join into, all of that joins together. V'amnam avsha Abba and Ima ne'achazim be'Erich Anpin atzmo. So he just said that they don't hold on to him 100%, but on the other hand, here they said they do. So let's go through the lines again. Even though they're holding on to Erich Anpin himself, in other words, that's the immediately panemius to them. Unikas the shefa, but in terms of being fed for the shefa that's coming from the mochzimah, yesh yisron the Zair Anpin, there's something extra in regards to Zair Anpin. L'umas Abba Ve'ima, if you compare it to Abba Ve'ima. Ki milvad masha Abba Ve'ima mislavshim b'Zair Anpin, because besides the fact that Abba Ve'ima are clothed inside of Zair Anpin, besod hamochim hare Zair Anpin b'chatika kadisha talia, but nonetheless Zair Anpin has a direct relationship with Erich Anpin as well. Zair Anpin yonik shefa min atika kadisha shuhu hakeser shel Erich Anpin. So how is it that they get that Zair Anpin has a direct relationship with the keser of Erich Anpin? Below rock mochas dima, and not in a lower level like mochas dima. Interesting. Shel Erich Anpin kamoshion came Abba Ve'ima. So for example, Abba Ve'ima are related to the mazel. Ki Zeir Anpin yonik shevach benachivarti shekuvar let me say benachivarti shekuvar Erich Anpin shebekeser Erich Anpin. So he said because Zeir Anpin actually nurse off of the whiteness that was found in the keser of Erich Anpin. Rosh Erich Anpin, as we know, that the hairs of Erich Anpin strike the back of the head is Zair Anpin, Rosh Erich Anpin, the Mishacha v'Yardim ad Rosh Zair Anpin, v'achid, and they make a unity there. Zair Anpin gam ochez the malvishim as Erich Anpin also holds on to and clothes Erich Anpin, kamo Abba Ve'ima, just like Abba Ve'ima are surrounded by Erich Anpin. So he said, let me just read this last part again. He says, v'achid v'Zair Anpin gam oches umalvishim es Erich Anpin, so therefore they also clothe and cover over Erich Anpin. Come on, Abba and Ima, just like Abba and Ima. Okay, I can get that. Kihu malvish as Erich Anpin b'makom natzachod yisod shalo. That's what he wants to say. He says, okay, they also are directly holding on to Erich Anpin. They're not holding on to Erich Anpin in the highest level. That is the level of Abba and Ima, but they are in fact for the Nai Lamata. But not only that, but they have this direct relationship to Kesser, which is higher than the Mokstimah. So so we already got into this subject over there. So we talked about it already. So happy is the portion of a person that learns from the Chachmas Hasod. The Yatzim Amanda B'Shlemos, and he comes out from that and completed, and still in a state of completion. Below to me, pakpukim. So this, what happens is that when people get into this, it doesn't work out for them, and so they get into all kinds of arguments and different problems. V'yindach orchin. And that's the way when you see that a person is accepting the words of what is being said. That's the proper way to be able to unlearn sod. Below yiste the yamin of the small, below yita become the yamin of the small. You shouldn't incline with them from the right or the left. Shein yiskasha b'tevu b'chavanas halima. So this is what happens. Of course, it happens to us too. It says that a person shouldn't find it so terribly difficult, but chavanas halima, when he aren't learning this. Yada the yashiv l'chud yada liyashiv l'taretz v'im lo yada the taretz yislach chasana b'miyad hasagasa. So this, it is in fact that the scholar of this kind of material, if he doesn't understand what's being said, it's not because it's a problem with the sayer or what's being said, it's a problem with his havana. So therefore he realizes he has to keep working. So a person starts learning this, and he says they can't come back from it with whatever it is mapakpek on everything still the same and arguing with it. It's not all different kinds of kashas and questions that he can't do it. It's better that person who takes that attitude, or that's how it affects him, that he shouldn't be created. Because this can bring a person into this level of denying. Also written, Ki Yesharim Darkei Hashem, but Tzadikim Yelchu Bam. Ki Darkei Hashem, B'chachmas HaSod, the Darkei Hashem. Now, when we're speaking here about Sod, Chachmas HaSod, Yesharim, they're straight, V'nekochim, V'nukochim, Nuchochim, yeah, I guess something like that. Tzadikim Yelchu Bam, and the Tzadikim go walk their lives or pass their lives with them below to mihos without questions about, who knows what they're talking about, a big pukim and different arguments. Now we're going on. It says, Rabi Shimon mistakol chabin yom b'chaykro. There's a pasuk that I looked at every single day. And this is the pasuk of Hashem tischalo nafshi. So let my soul be praised. Let my soul, it sounds like praise Hashem. Yishma'u anav and be yismachu. Let the poor be in joy and celebrate. Bein rosha pasuk the sofa. So the beginning of the pasuk it says, "B'Hashem tischalu nafshi." My soul is praised by Hashem. That's what it sounds like. Yishmul Navim. So what's the difference? Why do you have how do we get over to my soul and we got to, I don't know, the Navim? Ki im zacha David Melech, if he would have been able to be zeicha to shenafsha tischala, that his soul should be praised. Now, I'm not sure, or sing praises. How does it help other people if his soul is being praised, or he's actually praising Hashem with his soul, the relationship between his soul and Hashem? He says, so what's it have to do with other people? Vod Kash is another question. So they should say that praise that we're talking about, that the fact that your soul is getting praised or getting that hillel, he says that it should have said Loma because of this poor people. This really brings joy to poor people. But he answers like this now. Now we're standing over here in this Idra. He says, "Is kaikim kral kulo." But his kaya, but his bar of pirish a pasuk. So now we're going to be able to sustain this pasuk. We're going to explain it. Kulu rosh kula, the whole of it. Rosho im sofos. In other words, we'll be able to touch two of them together. Now, again, the pasuk is b'Hashem tischalo nafshi. So when in Hashem Yudke Vavke, my soul will be praised. So he says Yishmu Hanavim Yismachu. And then it has something to do about listen to that, or it sounds like, and the poor, and they'll be in joy also. So he says Hashem Tischalo Nafshi. Vadai Tahan Nishmasi Be Achidin. So this is what he says. He said Vadai, what we're talking about here is my soul, or my neshama. Be in him or with him, achida, make a oneness. In other words, a combining of forces there. Shahare bo, that is b'chakodesh baruch hu. Nishmasi achuzin v'keshura. My soul is tied with that. My soul holds to that. Be lahata. Be bo nishmas v'lohatim, because in him my soul therefore is a flame. Be is dabkas, and I cling to him. Bo nishmasim is the becket v'ishtadlus, and also works with him. B'bechol nishmasi mishtadelas al yedei gilu yasodas. And how is it by saying out these sodas and talking about them that brings out the devekus that we're talking about in the ishtadlus? So the ishtadlus is so what do we have? We have a flame. We have a clinging, and we have an effort that comes about to try to understand it, say it out. So as you're trying to learn this, so he says, HaKodesh Baruch Hu, who ha'ala nishmasa, in the process of this, it has the ability to be able to elevate my soul l'makom machtzavasa, for the place from which it was carved out. Now we see this word carved quite a few times. So he says that there's, in some way, there's an impression that comes from this carving. So he says, Ishmasi, the makom machatzava, that turned it back to the place that it came from. And that actually fulfills the first part of the pasuk, that my soul will be praised, or will sing out in praise with Hashem. And now it's a stay within me. Gam sofa pasuk. Excuse me. So let me see how's it niskayim be. Now I have the understanding. I think he means of the last part of the pasuk. Gam sofa pasuk yishmu hanav b'yismachu. So what does that mean? He said, "Who are these poor people you're talking about?" So he said, "The kol chayd and tzedekah." Kol Hanit Tzedekah, he said, Kol Edo, Neshamas and Tzedikim, all of these Neshamas and Tzedikim. V'kol B'nei Mesivda Kadesha, V'kol B'nei HaYeshiva HaKadosha Shalmala, and all of them, V'zakoyin, the Neshamas and Chassidim, and then he's breaking it down into different areas. You can kind of look at it. He says, the Asiyah V'hashdach V'im Kudshabaricha, that are accompanying HaKadosh Baruch Hu now. Shabo Ata Kam Ima Kodesh Baruch Hu Kulhu Shamin Mili Kulam Shamim as Divra Soda Shigalisi. All of them are listening to the sodas that I am revealing. So these are the poor people, the tzaddikim that he's talking about in Chassidim, different types. These are the poor people. And they're very happy about it. So the fact that their sodas are being revealed. On this it says like this: David Melech Shimo Anavim V'Yismachu. Listen, you empty. I don't know what poor people mean, but V'Yismachu, and celebrate with your joy. Begin kach for this reason. Because all of the surrounding is so happy, and maskimim, and all are in what's the right word? Harmony with everything that he's saying. Imadi, and agreeing with me, Yiskayim be, so now is fulfilled with him, Gama Pasuk Shala'achrab, also the end of it. He says, Gadlu Hashem iti, and the Roma Moshmachtov. So he said, build yourself up. Behind those, he means to say, Gadlu Kadlu LaHashem, make greatness for Hashem with me, make it be with me. Aroma Moshe Machtov, and I will bring up his name into oneness. Behind Gadel va'aromem es Shem Hashem begilui esodas, that I will amplify and praise the Shem name of Hashem by revealing the sodos yachad im kol neshamas tzadikim hanim soim kam, and I'm doing all of this with the chaskama and the agreement of the tzaddikim that have come here today. And now we're at another place, Atikun Malchus, and that's it for today.